It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day. I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Weekend episode. It's Mark the Mark and Sir Michael Jenks. We had talked a lot. We talked a lot before coming on air, and I have a lot of coffee in me, so we need to calm down. Because you already threw me under the bus, you son of a bitch.
I didn't mean to. I didn't think I was going to this early on, so that was interesting.
Yeah. So we're pretty heated over something that came up this week, and it happened on Sunday, so this has been a week-long stew for me, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
How was the rest of the flooring, and how was the rest of your week, sir?
So the rest of the week, let's see, I started off sick, thanks to my lovely niece.
That's amazing.
She had a sinus thing going on last week. She was over at my house while her mom was at work, and I'm working from home. And then I picked it up earlier this week and just got over it, so that was fun. Then flooring went great. We got the living room done, almost done last night. I was over there this morning doing some touch-ups before the podcast, and my brother-in-law and sister are there now doing in the final pieces of the floor, and then we can put the trim down, and it'll be grand. The mom's house, living room and dining room have been refloored, so
is mom happy?
What we needed to. Mom loves it right now. I took her to work. She had to go to work this morning. She does payroll for a local hospital up here in parts unknown. So she went to work, and she told me this morning that she loved it. So that's a good thing.
That's a win.
That as a win.
Yeah.
There's a win.
Pat on the back for the Sir Master. Yeah, I don't know where the hell that came from. Sir Master.
I don't know either, but I'll take it,
So... what else did you do then? You had to get over the flu. And let me say this, because I want to give a quick shout out to you guys already early on in the podcast at the 40-year dash. I'm actually jealous of you guys. Because,
why are you jealous?
Well, I'm jealous because as much as I listen to you guys, and this goes back a year and a half, I would like to work from home for a little bit. I'm sure you're over it. Because it's a different atmosphere. Like, I had and I'm not making this about me real quick because we'll get there. I had a rough week, and I'm just like, damn, I would like to work from home. I really would, just to see how, it helps the mentalness. Because sometimes I do like being by myself. I would imagine a year and a half of it, just you and your dog, you're ready to drink every day and be loco. But I'm a little jealous there that you wake up, you work, you don't have to leave your house. A little bit of an introvert in me in the last couple months.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice if somebody gets you upset at work or gets you pissed off, you can just walk down the hall for 5 minutes, take a breather, scream your head off, and then come back and you're fine. Or, unfortunately for my dog, she has become an unlicensed therapist, so I'll just talk to her for 20 minutes. But
right.
I mean, it's nice, but to your point, I live alone. I need to get out. I will say that there has been some aspects where I do take my mom to work every morning, so that helps me get out of the house. It helps me get just a different change of scenery type of thing. Because me looking at the same aquamarine colored walls in my office every day kind of gets old.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I do understand that and I'm going to throw you under the bus now. Let's not say boo-hoo that you have not left your house in a year and a half.
Yeah,
You've gone to Pumpkinville or whatever, and you went and had some beers.
Right.
But just knowing that, you're chill from home, this is going to hurt me probably. There's days I fucking hate people. I hate people. And it would be nice to know that, all right, at least every Friday or every Wednesday, I can work from home. That's okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, you can as a garbage man. You can't.
Right.
That would suck to have everybody on my street bring their garbage to my house. Here you go, Mark. You said you wanted to work from home. Process
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. And I'm not boo-hooing on myself and saying, oh, I need to get out and all that. It's nice. It's relaxing. It's also something that, some days I just prefer to be in the office, but they keep me busy. And what's hard about working from home, Mark, is what I've discovered is you can't necessarily turn it off because you always want to be on,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Nope.
Because it's the ease of access at that point. You have the setup, you're good to go. Oh, you know what? I'm going to work an extra hour. Or, you know what? I'm bored tonight. Let me go jump on to work for another 2 hours or something like that. Like, I've been told by my boss I need to cut back some. And I appreciate them for doing that at my job. But at the same time, I'm like, well, it's there. I can get it done. And then I'm caught up for whatever in the week. And maybe I can leave at 3:30 on Friday instead of 4 or 5. You know what I mean? So
I could see that.
The temptation is more here. Yeah, the temptation is more here now. Being in the house, it's ease of access. I can just jump on and do it, and just be on it for God knows how many hours in the day. So that's the one. I think that's one of the major downsides to it is you can jump on at any point in time and just go back to work.
But that says something to your work ethic, though, because I'm sure, and I was being a dick about all of this, that imagine that, right? I'm sure there's people that have taken advantage of working from home saying, oh, yeah, I'm getting this done. And, they're not rolling out of bed till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning or doing whatever. But, yeah, that just says something to your work ethic that, Saturday night watching a Penn State game, I'm just sitting here. Why not, Google this, that, or whatever for work or whatever. So, yeah, I understand that. So turning it off is key because that goes along with Jenks. I'm not saying it is our sicknesses or weaknesses, but I think we're both like that because as soon as I lay down at night, I now do have a notebook by the bed because thinking about stuff for the podcast. I'm thinking about, the whole, and I'm going to announce this real quick if you haven't seen it that I posted earlier this week. The whole merchandise thing came from me laying down and partnering with somebody. It wasn't like, I used to buy my shirts, $1,000 up front and then sure as shit hope to sell them. And then, 2 years later, I have last year's designs that I'm trying to get rid of for $1.50. That's no more. But it's the creative geniuses in us is what it is.
It is. It's allowing that creative outlet, and it never turns off. I have the same thing. I have a notebook by my bed, or if not, I'm putting it in my phone if I think of something. You have that creative awareness that anything can hit you wherever you're at. If you're in the shower, if you're on the back of a garbage truck, or you know what I mean, anywhere you can be at, sometimes it just hits you because your mind has turned off from it. Has pulled yourself away from it. You can think of those new ideas and the creative juices. And by the way, quick plug for the merch store before we get into that. It looks fantastic on there. I'm going to have to buy a couple items off of that merch store in a little bit. So, but before we get into that, Mark, how's your week?
My week, I had a stressful week. I really did. And I don't know why. I can't pinpoint what set me off. Maybe it was just King of the Ring list last Sunday that set me off or something. I just, on the Martinez Lounge, the wife is probably going to bury me. But I don't know literally what set me off this week. And I've just been kind of in a funk. One of my friends from IWC posted on Monday. It's as a wrestling fan, you guys will know the Dime Piece. She posted something. There's something just wrong. I feel a little bit off, and I was completely there. And I'm not one usually to share stuff like that on the socials, but I'm like, well, maybe this will help. So I kind of talked with her over it and everything. And I don't know if there was a full moon or if Sagittarius was aligned with Uranus or I don't know any of that shit. But essentially, I just felt off Monday, and it kind of just trickled downhill the whole way. I don't know. I don't know. I did bounce back later on in the week, but yesterday I don't want to say I relapsed, but I was just like, it's my day off. I am not doing anything. Well, that didn't go anywhere because I was going to go to a wrestling event last night, and then I ended up going to work instead at a different part of, the enterprise that I work at. And I don't mean podcasting. I just the real job. And I'm like, son of a bitch, there goes the wrestling show that I was going to go to, because I would have gotten there, but it would have been probably like a match into it. And if you know me, if I'm late to a wrestling event, that sets off more of my anxiety than anything else. I don't want to be that guy walking in, and so I'm like, all right, clearly I can't go to this one. But I do have a vacation planned, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Next week, there will be no Can Crushers weekly show. I'm going to throw that out there because the English professor and myself and I'll say his name, just Pat, nicely. I'll be nice to him this week. We're going to Celeb Fest 2 in Baltimore, Maryland. And it's kind of a big WrestleCon. I already have I'm meeting Chelsea Green, so she's going to sign my tattoo, so my artist can then sign her, tattoo her name on it. The Inspiration, the Iconics are going to be there. Nick Gage is going to be there. There's a lot of people. It was supposed to be a major AEW event, but the MLB screwed it up.
Oh, how'd that happen?
Well, because the MLB is playing on Wednesday night, so there's no Dynamite this coming Wednesday.
That's right.
It's on Saturday, so that pulled Sammy, Darby, Britt, Rebel, Nyla, Malachi, and Sting all off of this event.
Wow.
Yeah, John's little boy, they had tickets for the Darby and Sting double pick. I had the Sammy thing I was gonna do, and then clearly I would have went up and talked to my homegirl Britt, and anyway, but
yep.
Yeah, so they pulled all the AEW stars, but there's still a huge crop of talent there that if you're in Baltimore, you still be able to get tickets and head down there. They're announcing all the signing prices this week, but it doesn't matter. I have husband money hidden to get some of Go ahead.
I was going to say, is this like hidden in a sock drawer or something like? I don't want to give away your hiding place.
And nor will I. And she knows I have husband money. It's just I just can't say where it's at. Yes, there is money, hidden somewhere. I'm not even going to say it's in the house. So,
fair. I laugh because my brother-in-law has husband money too, hidden from my sister that I know about, and we always laugh about it because she always tries to find it, and it's kind of hilarious when she goes into the thick of it to find it.
Into the thick of it.
Thick of it.
Into the thick
Into
of
the
it.
thick of it.
Ugh. So I'm a little excited for next week. It's Saturday, and there's an event afterwards, a little bit like a mile up the street, that we didn't buy tickets for yet. But we're gonna ballpark to see if we want to do the wrestling event after a long wrestling event, or if we want to do wings and beers and possibly just sit outside and do whatever. If it's raining in Baltimore, then we're probably going to the wrestling event.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a good little getaway.
Yeah, it will be. It really will be. So, yeah, other than that, the merch store. Yes, the merch store is what we're at. We're going to talk about that as of right now, and more is to come. Just letting you know that there'll be some beanies, there's some hats coming as well. They're all kind of in the works of things. So I partnered with teespring.com, okay? And anybody can do this. So if you have merch that you guys want to get out there as well, I'm telling the masses, along with the 40-year-old Dash and the Martinez Lounge people, if you want to do this, you just kind of send your logo in, and then they'll work with prices for you after you pick some of the stuff you want. And then it's almost like a 70-30 spread. I'll just put it that way, that, you know, they're making this stuff once people order it and shipping it off, and then they'll give you some of the profits. So yes, it is a way for us to get some money, but it's also a business for them. So if you see me at an event, or if the 40-year-old Dash does this and you see them at an event or something, you're like, oh man, I'd like a hoodie. We're going to direct you to our website, because as podcasters and human beings and husbands and family members and everything, I don't have the overhead to keep 1,000 hoodies or, you know, t-shirts or like that. When we're doing this, we're doing that to the house, and it only makes more sense. So I'm going to direct you to the website and say, here, go order it. It'll be like 2 to 3 weeks before they get it to you, but you know it's, you know, top of the line, fresh. It's not been sitting in my basement underneath mothballs or anything like that. Plus, they give you a ton of different options. If you want a green Can Crushers hoodie, you can order green. If you want the charcoal gray or a black or a white or a pink or whatever you want, you get to pick your color with the logo on it and everything. So it's a really cool website. So if you want our website, it is the first thing that you'll see on our Can Crushers page. It is also on our main website, cancrusher69.wixsite.com/Can Crushers. You'll be able to order from there. That thing brings you over. It'll pop up all the time. It'll always be available for you guys to order stuff. But Jenks, yeah, as of right now, we have hoodies, we have tees, we have a, what the hell do you call it? Coffee mug. They call it a tumbler. Stickers, a long sleeve shirt. You think I would know this and write it down, but this is how Can Crushers rolls, people. You know how it is.
Do you want me to list it off? Because I pulled it up. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got classic tees for toddlers, the youth as well. Long sleeve tees, coffee mugs and tumblers, tank tops, leggings, which I was surprised to see. That was a nice addition. You don't usually see that.
Well, that was
stickers. And
that was my wife.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair. But there's a lot of good stuff here, and I'll tell you what. I was eyeing up the tumbler, a sticker, and maybe a hoodie. So I'm gonna put a lot of money into that. I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, and let's see where it goes. As you noticed, Jenks, it was leaked earlier this week on the social medias, and I know a lot of the people. There's sometimes we get a lot of interaction on social medias, and then there's some weeks that I think my social media disappears. I really do. And this was one of the weeks that I think social media disappeared, because I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm posting stuff and nobody's liking it. Maybe I just pissed somebody off, or I don't know. Maybe they're mad about the King of the Ring thing that Fox put on as well.
It could be. They could be very upset about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that list was pretty atrocious. The top 10 list was atrocious. But
yeah. So yeah, get out there and buy some merch, guys. All right, let's plow through this, because literally after the football games last week, Fox aired a King of the Ring special, kind of to promote what was to come up this coming Friday with the start of the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown. They put out the top 10 King of the Ring winners. All right, here's Fox's list. Jenks, you can jump in when you want. I know we both made our own list, and you are already hating on mine, but starting at number 10 for Fox was King Corbin.
I don't even know how that makes the top 10, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't. That set me off right off the bat.
Yeah.
Number 9 put me over the fucking edge, though, because number 9, they have Macho Man that far down. Fuming by now. 8 was Sheamus. 7 was Angle. 6 was Edge. 5 was Brock. 4 was Triple H. And this is really where it gets crazy now. 3 was Brett. 2 was Austin. And 1 was Booker T. And I think the birthday boy Max is ripping into something in the kitchen, because I hear him just... he must have found his birthday treats. Go to town, buddy. I don't care. He's won. He's won today, by the way. So happy birthday, Max.
Well, happy birthday, Max. I love it. Bailey's ripping into her bone over. I don't know where she went now. Oh God, she's loose. She was eating her bone in front of me. Now she's gone. So I don't know where the hell she went. But Booker T at one kind of. I liked Booker T as the king, but one's too high for Booker T.
One's way too high for Booker T.
One is way too high. I mean, their list, they have some decent ones on there. But what's your top 10? Because I want to hear yours.
All right. I'm going to go backwards 10 to 1. All right?
Yeah.
I have Edge at number 10. Okay?
Okay.
And you're like, why? Because Edge was somebody by then. I really do. He didn't need this King of the Ring, so he just, here, let's make him King of the Ring. And I'm an Edge fan, so I wanted him on it. 9 was Owen. So far down, yeah, because there's others that I like that Owen had it, but this isn't where Owen was made then. You know, he wasn't there yet. I did get Sheamus on the list at number 8. Personal reasons. I've always been a Sheamus fan. Number 7, I have Mabel. Go ahead, Jenks.
I guess I want to hear your reasoning behind it, because I just do not. I think Mabel might be my last King of the Ring on the list.
Ever.
Or close to the bottom. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Mabel, but give me your reasoning behind it.
His was entertaining to me. It was just, he was a big man. I don't know. The hokiness of it. Not that they did much with him or anything. Just, it was that era. He was... Again, I'm stuck on the word hokey. Give it to the big man. He's going to run with it. I think there's worse ones than Mabel out there. I really do.
Okay. All right.
Number 6 is Triple H. Number 5 is Harley Race. They say Don Morocco was the original one, and I know the English professor has brought this up before, but I don't remember Morocco really winning it, so Harley was the first one to me. So Harley gets on the list. Booker at 4, Savage at 3, and then 1 and 2 were so close. You have to know who 1 and 2 are. Brett's the only one that won it twice.
Yeah.
Okay? But what it did for Stone Cold is... I don't know, transcending. Because yes, he won the King of the Ring and he really never pandered to the King of the Ring, but Austin 3:16 says, I just kicked your ass. Boom! There is Austin. And what has changed the wrestling world that we know up until that point. So that's why I think the most influential King of the Ring has to be Stone Cold.
That's fair. And spoilers, that's my number 1 too, but I was going to get into that. Kind of the same point on that one. So, I mean, that list doesn't surprise me besides Mabel. I'll say that. Sheamus, I was a little on the fence about, but Mabel was the only one that took me by surprise. So, let's get into my top 10.
Yeah, what's yours then?
Okay. All right. Number 10, I had Angle. I did love King Kurt, so he was getting on the list. 9, I have Triple H.
Wow.
I didn't feel, I mean, it helped his career a lot. I just didn't think that was his spark. It wasn't until he became that serious, down-to-earth guy about mid-99 that I think it kicked off Triple H for me. So that's why he's low. 8, I'm a big William Regal fan. I know he didn't do much with the King of the Ring, but I just love William Regal, and that I thought it fit his persona well. 7, I have Edge. Similar reasons to what you said. 6, I have King Booker. I love King Booker. Wasn't my favorite character. It got kind of annoying towards the end, but I did love King Booker. 5, I have Savage. I have Randy Savage. 4 is Harley Race. 3, I have Owen, because I think that whole run in 94 that started at, Survivor Series of 93 with Brother Brett, and that ended at, not even ended, but almost hit that climax at the 94 SummerSlam in the cage. That whole run really, I think, said Owen is as good, or if not better, than Brett. I'm not saying he is better, but I think that really helped put Owen on a solid foundation to continue his career forward. So I put Owen at 3. My 2 and 1 are the same as yours. Brett at 2, the same reasons. Double champion. I'm a big Brett fan. We know that. Loved the King of the Original, the televised pay-per-view King of the Ring. It was the first one of that. And Austin, again, it kicked off his career. That was legitimately the launching point for Stone Cold. And history changed at that point in time.
Oh, I
Whether
agree.
people know,
So there's ones that we didn't get on the list. And let's talk about some of them. Corbin, no. So Shinsuke is one that they don't even recognize on the wiki yet. That they don't recognize that he won it. So is he not the 2020 King of the Ring?
I don't think he is, because he just stole the crown from Corbin.
Okay.
So I don't think they recognize him as it. It's just right now the prop until there's a new king named.
Well,
so,
he's given it up as of now, too. So.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's fair.
Neither one of us brought Lesnar.
No. See, with Lesnar, he was on his way to being made. He didn't need the King of the Ring 2002. I think that should have went to Van Dam. I understand why they gave it to him, but he didn't need that King of the Ring at all.
The other one, Bad News Barrett.
I really wanted Neville to win that King of the Ring.
Pac
at this point, yeah. But yeah.
Ken Shamrock defeated The Rock in Pittsburgh in '98.
I mean, that set up a good rivalry between the two. That hadn't been already brewing that entire year. I think that was a great. If I had an 11, I would say Shamrock.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good King of the Ring finals match. In that whole rivalry, I like Ken Shamrock a lot at that point.
Okay, and then as we were coming on the air, I forgot Billy Gunn even won a King of the Ring, and that kind of sparked us to get going real quick.
Yeah.
DiBiase won it as well, along with Tito Santana. Yeah, there's a couple that I just are like, what? I don't remember. But that's, again, either my CTE or whatever. Click it in.
Well, right. Well, and Mr. Ass, I mean, the only reason I remember that is because The Rock buried him later that summer, and it just killed the whole momentum of that 99 King of the Ring run. Because they had that whole setup, and then he did that prayer to God about Billy Gunn, and it was over at that point. So, yeah.
But go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you say that Mabel is your bottom of the barrel King of the Ring.
I think it's one of the worst.
Okay.
And maybe that's hindsight, but I don't know. I just didn't like Mabel as the King of the Ring.
Mine is Corbin. I just...
Yeah.
Even though, it's recent and he turned into Werewolf Corbin again, King Werewolf. I'm like, man, what the hell are they doing? I don't know. I really, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it's because of where it went. I will say this. I enjoyed the down in the dumps Corbin I don't know if I'm going to enjoy Happy Corbin.
I hate Happy Corbin right now.
Yeah, it's not that great. But down in the dumps Corbin
was amazing.
I enjoyed that, and I think that might be what's overshadowing it, because it transitioned into that down in the dumps Corbin. It set up down in the dumps Corbin. So, yeah, that's probably why it's Barrett Mabel in that range.
All right. Well,
but
at least we get to banter about this all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw this out to Can Crusher Nation next week as we're off. Okay, but call in for in 2 weeks or send us an email in 2 weeks. I want to know you guys' King of the Ring. Give us a top 10. Call in at 866-299 6687. Are you fucking kidding me, Mark? Again, CTE that I don't have written down. Let me pull it up on my phone. Don't call that number I just gave you because that might not even be the right number.
While you pull that up, I will say
Yeah, I was
very
right.
excited.
I was right.
Well, see, now call that number, guys.
Yeah, 814-299-6687. Leave us a message or do it the old generic way, cancrusher69@gmail.com. Go ahead, Jenks.
The only thing I was going to say about the King of the Ring is I'm just ecstatic it's back. I think it should be a whole pay-per-view, but that's neither here or there.
I completely agree. But I did like it on Friday night thus far, and I think it's going to carry over to Monday, but we'll wait because we'll get there. Because as we were actually recording Ask Can Crushers last week, I got 4 more questions sent in as we were recording, Jenk. So I figured, well, we might as well give them props and answer them this week. So we're going to answer them, then we'll take our break, and then we'll do some wrestling, and then we'll just do some announcements in the third segment, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So this is Will. Will sends in, and he's from None Your Business. Do you know where that's at?
Well, it's definitely a Know Your Old Boulevard, that's for sure.
Right? And I copied it down, and he wrote it phonetically. None. N-O-N. Ya business. Just exactly like None Your Business.
Love it.
So, you guys named your Mount Rushmore of matches. What are your bottom 4?
Of the matches?
I don't remember us ever naming our Mount Rushmore of matches. Do you remember? I'm going way back. Because clearly he didn't hear what we were talking about when we were recording the show. And I'm not saying that mean, Will, because we are not live. Last week we talked a lot about factions, so I'm going to spin it that way, Jenks. I don't think he meant matches because I can't. There's a million matches that I would say are horrible, and I've seen a lot of them this year. So right?
That's a tough one to even pick a bottom 4 of matches.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so much. I'm not saying this mean. I've seen so much more than you have on the indie circuit that I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And I don't even remember some people. So, so maybe he meant factions, since we kind of alluded to it earlier last week that we were doing factions and everything. So, Will, from None Your Business, I don't know what you meant, but I'm going to say he means our bottom 4 factions.
Okay.
If not, he can rewrite his question and then actually tell us where the fuck it's from.
Right.
So I'll let you go first.
Oh, thanks. I had to pull up a list of factions so I can take a look at this. Well, I would say the first one, actually, I know 2 off the top of my head. Disciples of Apocalypse and Los Boricuas, that whole 97 run between those 2, I did not enjoy them at all. So I'd say those 2 make my bottom of the list. I'll also throw in the Core, which was the ripoff of Nexus. That one, it went absolutely nowhere, and it made no sense to me. And the final one, God, I'm going to say the League of Nations wasn't that great. It had 4 good people in it, but it wasn't that great.
Wow.
I think that's my 4.
Wow. See, the League of Nations I was all right with. So
they had a good thing with Roman at the Rumble, but it just didn't work for me. It didn't seem like it was authentic. I don't know, but I didn't enjoy it. So,
okay, all right. These are relatively easy for me.
Okay.
One is the Oddities.
Okay. Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah. The other one is Kevin Sullivan's group in WCW. I can't think.
Oh.
I can't think of the name of it. The Dungeon
of Doom.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
I forgot about them.
They were absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. trying to make Brutus Beefcake the man with no name or whatever. That was
Well, and then you have the Yeti.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking out League of Nations, putting them in.
All right.
I totally forgot about that.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, the Dungeon of Doom was the match. It's the Faces of Fear. The Faces of Fear was.
Oh, that's it. Yes, that's it. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yep. Was it? All right, now I'm looking.
Yeah, I think it was. I know it was the Faces of Fear. Number 3 on my list is when Cody tagged with the Ascension. They were Outland Wasteland or something like that. You at least know he was Stardust at that time.
Oh man, I forgot about that one. Oof.
Yeah, Cosmic Wasteland. Okay. I just typed it in. Cosmic Wasteland. Okay. All right. So we have the Faces of Fear. We have the Cosmic Wasteland. The Oddities, and then I despised the Millionaires Club or whatever it was in TNA when it had Luger, Flair, Road Warrior, Animal, Steiner, both Steiners, the Magnificent Seven. The Magnificent Seven is what it was because it was just so. They were all pompous assholes at that time that just made $1 trillion. They couldn't do anything with anybody there. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
So Will from None Your Business, I hope that answered your question. This is from Richard from Ohio. If you could have one defunct organization and bring it back, which organization would you bring back? This one's an easy one for me, Jenks. I've always been an AWA fan. I loved that wrestling with Bockwinkel and Henning and Scott Hall, Colonel De Beers and Snuka and all those guys there. The young stars that they've created with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. I was always an AWA fan. So AWA, and then if I have to bring one more along, it would be World Class.
Yeah, I'm going with AWA as well. Similar reasons. I'm staying away from the obvious WCW one because I mean, they had the talent, they just butchered it. But I liked AWA. I loved everything they were about, and that was a good, solid foundation to your point. It was a launching point for a lot of for stars once they got into the bigger stages. So I loved AWA. Yeah. So I'll go with that.
Yeah. I think you're the first person that's ever agreed with me there.
Well, I will say it was hard because I was thinking WCW and I'm like, no, that's just too obvious. And and I want to think outside the box because I like the territorial wrestling at that point in time. And I loved AWA, what they brought to the table. And I enjoyed it when I could watch it on YouTube or wherever I could find it. So
the network, I don't know if the Peacock has it because I don't dive deep into Peacock because it sucks.
Yeah.
But when it was the network, they used to have all the AWA stuff on it. I really have not dove into Peacock, and I probably won't. I just use it for pay-per-views in the office.
I tried watching, I will say this, because I have a yearly tradition, as sadistic as it sounds, to watch the Mankind-Undertaker match on the day it happened. I always watch that Hell in a Cell match, and I always go back to it.
I was there.
You were there?
Oh, yeah. In the nosebleed section of Pittsburgh. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was not there, but I always go back and watch that, and oh my God. So trying to find that on the Peacock is absolutely horrible because you have to fast forward it, almost like you have a VHS tape with ads in it, because you have to fast forward, and then it'll stop you and play an ad before you get to where you need to go. So it's
that's disgusting.
It is. But yeah, so man, someday on Can Crushers podcast, I want to talk to you about being there live.
All right,
we won't do it today, but I want to pick your brain about being there live.
Okay, I thought he was dead. Just to let you know, everybody around me also thought he was dead. But we'll get to the whole discussion. Yeah,
that makes sense. But okay.
2 more questions. This one's from Keith from Vermont, and this might be the first question ever from Vermont. So Keith, thank you. Who will be the first person to jump ship from AEW to WWE?
Right now, Brian Cage is my thought. I think he's built, although Vince is looking to build his own stars, but I think he's built the way Vince would want him to be, just the way he's been picking people out. I think it's Brian Cage.
After this week at Dynamite, that was exactly my first thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, or AEW in general. That was my first thought. I'm like, man, this guy, maybe he's okay going over on Team Taz or anything. Fine and dandy. He's away from that feud. Maybe now, maybe not. When does he get his just dues? Because he should be up there fighting with Mox and Jericho and all those guys for the heavyweight championship. He's a great worker. He really is. He moves like Vader and Bam Bam for as big as he is. He looks like, Big Papa Pump or the narcissist Lex Luger, or whoever you want to call him. He's got all of it.
Yeah, I'm starting to get it now. I think a few weeks ago I said I didn't really understand Brian Cage or the level around him, but I'm starting to pick up on it. And I agree. There's something missing, and I don't know why they're not pushing him more. I get the whole Team Taz; they had to settle that rivalry, but there should be more to him than just the FTW title,
right?
Or being in there. So I guess future to come, but I think he could be the first one to jump ship if he doesn't get shown the love that he probably deserves. So we'll have to see.
Keith from Vermont, thank you. And here's the last question that came in as we were recording last week. This is from one of your cohorts.
Oh, which one?
Cody.
Oh, well,
from 40-year
I
dash.
thought it was.
No.
At least
why is Candy Corn not on the top 3?
He really asked that.
Yeah. And then after listening to this week's show of the 40-year dash, Jenks, it doesn't belong on the top 3.
I completely agree.
This is blasphemy.
I think I'm giving it a lot of benefit of the doubt when I put it in my top 10.
Yeah. I can name 10 candies better right now that are in my house. Whoppers, Milk Duds, Fun Dip, Almond Joy, Smarties, Nerds Ropes. I mean, come on. It's candy corn.
Yeah, it's this is ridiculous. So I could name 5 Reese's types that are better than that right off the top of my head. But
right.
Trees, pumpkins, eggs, whatever.
Footballs,
anything you can name from Reese's is better than that. And the candy pumpkins are a lot better than candy corn.
I agree. I will agree with that.
So,
and they're only good in October. I know they sell them year round.
Yep. Yeah.
They only have, and I don't know if it is the best taste because they've sat for years. They can survive a nuclear holocaust. They really can.
I completely agree with that. Them and Twinkies can survive nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
And you have something to eat. I guess I understand the fetish with eating wax. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't find it as a top 3 worthy candy of all time.
The wax lips that you get in your trick-or-treat bag or the wax candy bottles that you get the juice out of are better wax than a candy corn.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I don't know why my cohorts on the 40-year dash are
They're
thinking
assholes.
that it is.
They're assholes.
They're completely, I think they're delusional and disillusioned. But I will say, we are recording on Halloween and we are debating this during the Moochie Update episode. So preparing an argument for it.
And he has to have The Godfather watched by then.
He does. He has to have it watched by then, and he has to be prepared to debate me on candy corn.
Nice.
So
nice.
We have a jam-packed episode for Halloween.
I'm excited for that one. I'm excited
There you
for
go.
that one. All right, Jenks, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back. And essentially, This Week in Wrestling was This Week in Wrestling.
Yeah.
We can dive in a little bit about the draft. We can talk about AEW. We don't have to deep dive about anything because it all forward storylines. There was nothing new besides old stuff.
Right.
So we're going to be back right after hear from Al Snow and Collar and Elbow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is the heir apparent Chris LaRusso, and you're listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. Guys, don't forget you just heard from Al Snow at Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all that great stuff that he has. Wonderful merch, and you can use the promo code Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. You'll save 10%. But you can also buy our merch, too. Head over to our Facebook page or our website. You guys can find that on all our socials. Buy some of our amazing Can Crusher merch as well. I think this is going to lead to you guys having some 40-year-old Dash merch as well, Jenks.
I think so too. Gonna get it produced here. I got to talk to the cohorts, but hopefully without candy corn anywhere on it. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah. How about we break down the week, actually, I was going to say phonetically, but that's not the word because phonetically means words. In order, Jenks. This way we can, since we touched on the draft last time we were on the air, let's go right to Monday night and talk about the draft first off. And I don't have the extra picks, so if you want to pull those up of what they did on Talking Raw or Raw Talk or Your Mama Talking Raw, cool. But the main ones from Raw, and congratulations, sir. You are clearly going to be head and shoulders here on Can Crushers because you got that right 100%. You said Charlotte was going to SmackDown and Becky was coming to Raw. It happened.
It had that feeling that they were going to do it. Now I'm guessing, I don't think I saw the title swap happen.
That didn't happen yet.
Yeah, but I'm thinking they're going to wait till after Crown Jewel because I think if I read somewhere, it's going to be in effect after Crown Jewel happens.
Yes.
The draft, so I think we'll see that afterwards. But yeah, it just had that feeling that they were going to swap the women's champions and put Becky on Raw and let her run the show.
Yeah.
Bailey might agree. I don't know.
Well, she's mad she wasn't drafted.
Well, agreed, but what her namesake is free agent now, so
right.
See what happens there.
See where I would imagine with who went to where. Let's stay with Raw. Let's just break down Raw.
Yeah.
Lashley stay in there. Of course, Seth is coming over because it only makes sense. Damian Priest, AJ and Omos, KO, the Profits because Bianca is now on Raw.
Yep.
Karrion Kross, Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, which I'm happy with because I think Carmella can shine actually on Raw, especially when we get to talking what happened on SmackDown. And then Gabe Steveson. I did the same thing that Saxton did. You want to put the N in, Stevenson.
Yeah, I did it too. Don't worry about it. I was kind of surprised by that, the Gable one. Just because he's newer to the program, but I get it. They're going to boost him up, and that's Olympic gold medalist, so they want to put him right on the flag. Well, what has been known as a flagship show.
He's the new Kurt Angle. Let's just he's coming out with that.
Yeah.
Does this bring Angle back?
It would be interesting if it does. I don't think they do a father-son storyline with him like they've done with Jason Jordan, which I'm still pissed about. But that's a different story for a different day. But it might bring Gable or Angle back to do like a passing of the torch or a mentorship type thing. That would be kind of cool, I think.
Does he align with the Alpha Academy? Because they're also on Raw.
I think they try, but I could also see them being the first victims lined up. Yeah. Whether it's Otis, I think it'd be Chad Gable first that would get the first match against them, and then Otis. But yeah, I think it puts them on the opposite side of the ring with the Academy.
Yeah, I agree. SmackDown drafts, and I'm going to save the big one for last because I have some words to say about it. Sasha staying, Shinsuke and your stupid ass buddy Boogs is staying. Sheamus goes over. Shayna, Xia Li, I like that she got the call up. The Viking Raiders, Ricochet, Garza and Carrillo, which I hate that tag team. Cesaro, Sami Zayn. I love the Ridge Holland call up. And of course, the Usos stay with the Bloodline. So we'll talk about all of them here in a second. But my big beef is this was a storyline from last Friday coming over to Monday. Why are the Usos the first pick then? They didn't need to be there then. Paul didn't do anything to make me believe that he actually got them to go first. They shouldn't have been picked in the first round. They shouldn't have even been seen on TV for the first hour. Make it think that, oh my God, SmackDown didn't take the Usos first.
Yeah.
Are they? Nope, they take them and then there's the fucking storyline done. Why?
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is, looking at the list of who was drafted, they didn't have a marquee player to put above them outside of Sasha, or, it didn't seem like there's that big name that they were going to put on SmackDown.
Agreed.
And that's the only reason why the Usos were the first pick out the gate with them.
All right, then take Sasha first. And then during the draft, have Paul come out and punch Pierce or something to say, we're taking something. This was to me, this was a big story coming over. Are the Usos going to get drafted? Oh my God, they're going to be on Raw.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, we're taking Usos. Paul didn't talk to us or nothing. Yeah, we're taking Usos, no problem.
I think it's an example of a lot of things that they have made me question over the past however many weeks. What's the creative thinking behind this, and why are you doing it this way?
Yeah,
I think that just adds to it.
So another thing I want to talk about from Raw, and it is Corey Graves.
Oh.
I am glad, and I think it was scripted because Dana then sent comments back. Corey Graves buries Dana Brooke, and he's not wrong. That's all I have to say. I am waving the Corey Graves flag. He's not wrong.
I gotta agree. It seems like it was scripted. That's fine. He's not wrong. She just hasn't. And maybe this is for a push for her to go. I don't know, but she's just been kind of treading water and not really doing much with it. And honestly, I haven't never been a big Dana Brooke fan. And that's why you've seen her lose to Austin 3 seconds in the past or things of that nature. This was right on point, and it pretty much said what a lot of people were thinking at that point in time.
My thoughts are, though, Dana didn't get injured on Monday night because Doudrop, of all people, comes out to save her. Okay?
Right.
So there's another match coming up, Dana and Shayna, for the Queen's Crown. Doudrop's taking on somebody in the same bracket. So are we going to get Dana upsetting Shayna? And then at the end, is it going to be Carmella against Dana? And Graves actually causes, because Jenks, I want to see Carmella win this Queen's Crown.
Okay.
Since Flair's not in it, we thought maybe they were going to, no disrespect to who's in it, but we thought maybe there'd be some bigger names like Charlotte in it, or, Sasha is in a storyline, but is she going to get a title? I don't know. I thought maybe somebody big like that was going to be in it. This is looking like Carmella could win. She beat Liv Morgan, who I thought was going to win.
I thought that too, and I was a little taken back by that. I don't know, because this seems like it has a run the table type aspect. It's built for the Queen of Spades to take it, unless Nia comes back in the finals. But she has, I think it's a legitimate injury, or they're just giving her time off to work on herself. And by herself, I mean her wrestling ability. I want to say Carmella could take it now that she's beaten Liv, but I'm really thinking this is Shayna Baszler's to run just through competition and just become the official queen.
See, I thought that, but they're starting something with Doudrop in her, which pisses me off, because Shayna should be attacking Flair or Becky or both tag team partners or whoever. I don't think Shayna needs this to stay irrelevant, because I think Shayna is on the upward climb of becoming one of the next champions in 2022. I'll say it that way. In 2022, I think Shayna will be a WWE champion.
Okay.
I don't think the Queen's Crown is the way for her to get there. I think she needs to be crazy ass Ken Shamrock to rip through the, beating people up and just dismantling them. I think the crown makes it something different then for her, because usually you don't see the Queen of the Ring or the King of the Ring back and then. They get a title shot, but they don't win it. When did somebody have both?
Yeah. Well, outside of Lesnar.
Right.
But see, you say Ken Shamrock, he did win the King of the Ring.
He did.
Give that to him. And I think they put Shayna in that predicament for so many months where she didn't look like that perennial badass. She was taking roll-ups, pinfall, she was taking losses for her team, and then recently she just turned into this complete and utter machine monster mix that we all know her to be. And we even talked about it, I think it was last week, where we mentioned about, or a couple weeks ago, where she had really lost her luster when she became the vampire at some point.
Right.
And I think her stomping through the competition, it sets up perfectly for her versus Doudrop in the semifinals. And I think that could be where they build up to. I think this is just putting Shayna over as that monster. She runs through the tournament field, and it's a queen versus queen matchup on SmackDown, if you think about it that way, because at some point, Charlotte will have to come across. I believe Shayna was drafted to SmackDown.
Right.
So Charlotte's going to have to come across the Queen of Spades, and I think that's where Shayna takes the title. I think that's who beats Charlotte for the title at some point.
So essentially, we're both saying it's going to be Carmella against Shayna Baszler in the finals.
Yeah, I don't see Zelina Vega winning it.
I don't
getting
either.
to the. I was kind of surprised she beat Toni Storm. I thought they would set up Toni Storm versus Liv Morgan, but I get why. I guess I can understand why Carmella beat Liv, being a former champion. It kind of does that 50-50 booking between the two as well, but. I think Carmella is a more legitimate reason to put over Shayna if she beats her. More legitimate opponent to put over Shayna.
I'll give you that. You might have just changed my mind. Yeah. Damn it. But I think one of them needs to come to Raw. Essentially, we're both giving SmackDown the Queen's Crown.
Yeah.
If it goes to Baszler. The coffee is not setting well, and I'm drinking coffee today because Yeah. The guys, we're going to bounce back and forth here on WWE. On SmackDown, then, we had the King of the Ring. Who was it?
It was
Finn against
Sammy
Cesaro.
versus Ray.
Yeah.
And Sammy versus Ray.
Who do you think's winning the King of the Ring?
Give me 1 second, I'm pulling it up. Because I don't think... Well, honestly, my first gut reaction was maybe it would be Sammy. But honestly, I think Kofi wins it. And my thought behind that is, I think at some point we see a breakup of the New Day. And it's going to be Kofi versus Xavier in the semifinals. Kofi's going to beat Xavier. And then if Kofi becomes the king, Xavier has been petitioning for 5 years or however long, 2 years, whatever, whenever Corbin won it, has been petitioning for the King of the Ring tournament to come back. Kofi beats Xavier and then becomes King of the Ring. You don't think Xavier's going to get jealous or be like a little out of sorts here? Maybe I've overthought this, but I think Kofi wins it, and I think it starts to break there's a dissension in the New Day at that point.
And I think that's been coming for a while. Because there's been leaks that, this faction has been running the gamut at WWE for a while, and they have been. So I'd be all right with that. I would go the other way, though. That Woods actually gets it. And no disrespect, because you had Kofi win the title. You have Big E as champion. Just as a pat on the back, that you guys have carried us for a while and you're pandering to get this tournament back, let's give it to Xavier. Why not? Yeah. He's got to be out of the doghouse of posting videos of doing Paige by now, right?
Right.
You would think.
You would think.
And on the other side, I think it's Finn the whole way, because that solidifies he's a prince. And he's been the first ever Universal Championship holder. So whoever wins from that side, because, and no disrespect to Cesaro, Cesaro's been a middle of the pack type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that side of the bracket is just building for Finn to take it. If Finn doesn't win this, it's by hook or by crook, especially with Sami Zayn in the next round. But yeah, I really don't see anything standing in Finn Balor's way. But I could see your point about Xavier too. And to that point, maybe Xavier goes a little over the top about it. You could be Kofi. I really just think it's going to be Kofi and Xavier in the semifinals. Just the way they did that it doesn't make sense to put Jinder Mahal or Ricochet in that matchup. I think they did that for a reason, and it's going to come apart here over the next several months.
And all finals will take place at Crown Jewel. So that's cool. A little bit of shade. I guess I wouldn't mind if Jinder does win it, because I've always been a Jinder fan, because I think he's such a great throwback heel character. I do. And I think he could be a dastardly, that word. We haven't used it a lot. A dastardly king ruling with, whatever. And his group is actually broken up now too. One of them went to Raw and one of them went to SmackDown. So it's just Jinder, and I think Shanky is with him. Nor do I care. Essentially, let's leave it at that. But go ahead. I was going to say, I think it's Shanky or Veer, one of the two. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah, Shanky's on SmackDown, Veer's on Raw now. So at the end of SmackDown, we get Seth and Edge. Edge calls out. Well, Seth calls out Edge. Edge does come out, and me being stupid. So they're calling for a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Normally, Hell in a Cell matches take place in the United States. This is going to the Crown Jewel. How are they getting the Hell in a Cell to Saudi Arabia? They're clearly not building one over there. They're bringing one that they've had pre-built and everything. Imagine that, because normally they just truck them. They're in a truck. They truck them to Providence or Pittsburgh or wherever. How did you send this to Saudi Arabia?
I have no idea. Obviously, the Prince is footing the bill there because that's the only way that thing's getting over there. Oh my God. Hip? Is that how you send it? I don't know. How do you send that? I guess you're asking the question, and I have no goddamn clue.
That was the first thing I thought of. Not that I'm excited to see this match. It could be a great match. It really could be.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how the hell are they getting that there? Or are we going to get a generic Punjabi one?
Don't do that. We're gonna get bamboo sticks, and Great Khali comes out at the end and throws them off the side.
That wouldn't surprise me on a Saudi one, now. By the way,
no, it wouldn't.
So
that could be how Jinder wins the match, wins the final.
Oh, I hope not. Anything else on WWE that you'd like to talk about before we transition over to some AEW talk?
No, I did want to just mention one quick thing. I'm disappointed they broke up Knox and Blackheart before they got the tag title shot.
Yes!
But what the hell? But I guess that's one way to solve a problem in WWE is just break them up so they'll get a title shot. So that was the only other thing I was going to bring up.
Yes, that was actually written down in my notes, low at the bottom of the thing. I'm like, because that actually took place. That was one that actually took place on Raw Talk or whatever, right?
Yeah, that was one of the ones. Yeah, and that I was looking at that and like, you got to be kidding me. But I mean, it seemed like a tag team they just threw together to begin with, but I thought it worked pretty well. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I was a little disappointed by that.
They ended up breaking up the former tag team champions then as well. Nat went to one in Tamina's. So there is essentially no tag teams besides the champions right now.
Yeah, exactly. I could not name a women's tag team.
There isn't. Jenks,
there isn't.
The Iconics are the inspiration now heading to Impact at Bound for Glory. The Riot Squad, one has had a baby, one is in AEW, and Liv Morgan just got buried by Carmella.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean,
that was it.
NXT doesn't even have.
No, because Candice is pregnant and Indy's married.
Yeah, and I think they have Toxic Attraction. I think it's their name. That's the lone tag team I can think of besides Io and Zoe.
Yeah. They broke up the Robert Stone brand, because Aaliyah's coming up.
Yeah. She already turned on him a while ago, too.
Right.
And, yeah, there's nobody left. I don't understand why you would break... This goes back to their not liking tag teams, I think. They just break up tag teams for the hell of it at that point. And it's just like, well, we don't respect tag team wrestling, so screw it.
Screw it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
throw two people together and they can win the tag titles.
Win, though. So they're just going to defend against... the air quote local stars for a while.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They're not on the same brand, I don't think. I was going to say Carmella and Selena, but they're not on the same brand anymore, are they?
No.
I cannot remember. Yeah. I was going to say, well, they had some sort of tag team or alliance at one point, but that's not going to happen anymore. So
we have a women's tag team championship. We have champions that don't go together because one's a superstar and one's a rock star monster.
Yeah.
And we have nobody to defend them against.
It makes sense.
Perfect sense.
Yeah. All the sense in the world.
Perfect sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that championship go away sooner than later.
I agree.
And that's sad.
Yeah. I think they could have done a lot of good things with that, but
yeah,
it's sad.
All right, AEW time here on Can Crusher Nation. And Jinx, I want to go to Rampage right off the bat, and then we'll come back to Dynamite. A weak show again on Rampage for me. I really... and I'll start with the Punk match. First of all, the goddamn pants are back. I was pissed about that.
I knew you were going to be pissed about that. I actually wrote that down as the first thing you were going to bitch about.
Good.
So,
I love seeing the Punk work with the youngsters. I really do.
Yeah.
But this is his third match, and can we get him to look solid once? And I'm not saying that they're building him up like that, but he needs to destroy one person. There's got to be one person. I want one person where he just comes in, beats the snot out of them, go to sleep, and puts them in the clutch, and then done. But this was a good match. It didn't need to be this week, but I'm just saying at some point we need a quick Punk match just to show that he's back.
Yeah, and I think they're building. I think it'll build up to that. I like how they're doing it right now because it's getting him. Hey, he's getting acclimated to the ring. If he came right in and just destroyed, I'm not saying he would have or they would have did this to Darby Allin, but if he just came in and destroyed him as his first opponent, I think it would have been they're forcing it upon us that Punk is that good.
Right. I'm not saying Darby or even Hobbs because he was bigger. I was expecting it in this match, actually, just because Daniel Garcia and 2.0 are a joke.
Well, they've been pushing Daniel Garcia a lot in 2.0 or the Nasty Boys little brothers. I popped for that.
I did too.
I was dying because I thought when they first debuted those stupid vests, I thought the same thing. But I like Daniel Garcia as a wrestler. I think he's a good talent. He's a younger guy right now, and he's having a lot of phenomenal matches. I think he had 4 matches in a row this weekend against some very big name guy, and that says a lot for his talent level, I think. So I like this match. I thought it was a good match. I won't say great. It was a good match. It made sense. I get your point. I don't know if it's an AEW talent or they get some local guy for him to squash. I think it has to be a AEW talent. And I'm going to be honest and go back to Wednesday. I don't know what they have planned for Bobby Fish, but I feel like it's not going to be that high on the card.
I don't either.
So maybe it's a Bobby Fish destruction that they throw out there. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But I like their approach that they're taking, that he's not automatically just destroying people when he gets out there.
Right. And I wasn't saying to do that against Darby or Hobbs because I think those are 2 big players in the future of AEW. Garcia as well. I like where they're going, but next match because Leo wants to book a match against Punk next week to see if he's worth it, and it's against who the hell was it against?
One of his stablemen. I can't even remember who's in this group now.
Yeah, but maybe that one. Punk just comes out, boom, Leo, you guys suck. And it starts a fight between the other stablemen and the other stablemen to get them guys going and whatever. As long as Leo Rush doesn't turn into the guy that with a microphone and starts screaming again, I could get behind what Leo Rush is trying to do. But if he's the whole hype man for Bobby Lashley again, Leo Rush is going to lose a lot of people once again.
Yeah. He has to carry himself.
Yeah.
He can't be the mouthpiece. Go ahead.
No, I've never been an Acclaim fan, so I was pumped to see the Luchas pretty much take care of them easily.
Yeah.
And we know that they weren't losing the titles this early. Santana and Ortiz have not been around again, so I'm telling you, that's who's going to be the next to win it, folks. Mark it down. That they're going to have a mega match. You're probably still wanting it to be FTR, don't you?
I would love it to be FTR, but I'm starting to agree with you. I think it's Santana and Ortiz. It's the only one that makes sense right now. I think that's how you build it up.
Yeah.
So I think they've started the road for Santana and Ortiz to take it off of them. I would love FTR to win the title at any point in time, but they're not set up to do that right now at this point in time. So
we kind of saw the finals of the TBS Championship break down in the next match after Jade destroys Sky Blue. I think this is going to be your finals. I think it's going to be Thunder against Jade for the TBS Championship.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm wondering, they're probably going to put it on Jade, to be honest.
Yeah.
But unless Thunder's going to cheat the win, I don't think Thunder's going to be the one to put the first loss on Jade. So, and maybe that's how they escape it being Jade taking it off of Britt. and having that undefeated champion. They just put her on the TBS championship and be undefeated with that.
Yeah.
That could be it.
I think so. And I don't know if Britt came on Dynamite, and I mean, we're going to kind of conglomerate these together a little bit, and said, oh, good, you dumb bitches essentially can fight over this new championship that means nothing. It is the secondary title in AEW. Let's throw that out there. It is the secondary women's championship in AEW, because Thunder can lose this tournament but still look great because she's had that match against Britt, or you can have, Nyla bounce back, or, there can be players involved, and Jade could run with this TBS championship as long as you wanted. I'm okay with that because it's the secondary championship. I think she's too young in the career to carry the division like Britt is, or Thunder could, or even Nyla with Vicky Guerrero could.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. There's not much to say outside of that. I completely agree with that. If they give it to Jade and let her run, maybe it's for 6 months or something, I think there could be a setup for a title versus title match, or even just she wants to outgrow the TBS title and go to the women's title, but it's down the road. I think that could be a case too, where she vacates and says, I want the big title, which we could see. Yeah.
Or she gets too cocky and she says, like you said, I've outgrown this and I'm still undefeated. Now I want to take on Britt. Yeah. Cool. And then Starks against Brian Cage in a Philly street fight. I love that they were in Philadelphia. They gave a little props to ECW. I mean, they used only stuff that ECW used, garbage cans and all that stuff. And at one point I thought Cage was going to win it back. I thought, okay, they're going to do this title swap thing, and it makes sense here because Ricky Starks is so great on the mic to want to come back and get this, or maybe Hobbs gets this title down the line, or Hook, because they're doing more with Hook. But then essentially what we said at that question at the beginning of the show, does that hurt Brian Cage that he lost?
I don't know if it hurts Cage here. I want him to do more with Cage. I've gotten to that point where I want him to do more with Cage, but this is what I expected to happen. I figured Team Taz was going to get involved at some capacity. And I don't know. I just wasn't impressed by it, I guess. I usually go for these street fight type matches. I like a little bit of this cash cans and weapons to be used, but it seemed like it was a traditional match. It was basically your basic Team Taz match, just with weapons involved. To me, I wasn't over the top with it.
No, I agree. I wasn't over the top. I wasn't at all. All right, let's head over to Dynamite, or revert back to Dynamite. Huge match to start. It was the Super Click Elite, or whatever the hell they're calling themselves, against Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, and Bryan Danielson. I'm glad the crowd kept up with No Balls Kenny.
Yeah, they're holding on to it.
They are.
Makes sense. Philly crowd is ruthless sometimes, so you figured they would.
And I was pumped that the Super Click Elite got the win, because we've seen it back and forth, and I don't want, as much as a loss isn't going to hurt Adam Cole or any of them, I don't want them to see piles upon piles upon piles of losses coming up to just Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, and Bryan Danielson. So them getting the win was, I think, great booking.
Yeah, it's a great example of not using 50-50 booking, which has become the norm in some areas of wrestling, where you see, well, we have to trade wins because this team won and this team won. If I'm going to believe this is Super Elite, which I already do, and I did, and I don't need to see them win, they have to win to continue to be cocky. It doesn't make sense for them to be cocky and then they lose, right?
Right.
So I think it only made sense for them to beat a team that was more or less put together, thrown together, like Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Bryan Danielson. I almost said Daniel Bryan again.
It's all right.
But no, it's all good. But I also did like I loved the triple super kick at the end on
Yes.
Danielson, and then the 4-person BTE trigger. I thought that was a great ending to the match on how they booked that.
Agreed. Jumping around, I loved Arn burning Cody's stuff.
I did too.
And
That
then the
was great.
slap, because I think the slap was harder than Cody thought, but it was genuine, because it was just like, stop being a bitch or whatever he said. Wham! And I'm like, oh, fuck.
That was I love this Arn Anderson.
I do
this Arn
too.
Anderson been?
Yeah.
Just keep him going every week. I don't need to see anything else. So it's interesting, and I like that they didn't make it that he turned on the Nightmare Family, but he's trying to prove a point with Cody Rhodes to get him into a better position to be in. And this is a great start to it.
Yes.
And God, give me this Arn Anderson every week.
Stop being a bitch. Please.
Stop being a bitch. Bam.
You brought up Bobby Fish. Bobby looked good against Sammy. He did, but this was Sammy's first defense. Come on. I'm glad Bobby is here, because Bobby's got a lot of friends in this division. Shit, his buddy Adam Cole from Undisputed Era is essentially right there, and he grew up in ROH with the Young Bucks and all of that. This is the right place for him, but I don't see, like you said, I don't think he's going to get that mega push.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Maybe someday he does come down the line and get the TNT Championship at some point. I just want to see them build him up, because he kind of got done dirty with the whole breakup of the Undisputed Era thing in NXT. He didn't really have much going on after that. I think he might have been injured at one point.
I was going to say, he was on the shelf, essentially, when they broke up.
Yeah, so it kind of got the raw end of the deal, whether it was supposed to happen or not with it. So I want to see them build him back up, and I could see him getting a TNT title at some point down the line. It wasn't going to be tonight, but I think they just need to build him back up to what we know him to be. So
I'm going to skip ahead, and then we can come back and talk about whatever you want to. What other network championship would you want? Because Britt wants to see the Cartoon Network championship.
You know, that was a great touch by Cartoon Network. Let's get HGTV in there. I think you could do nice, maybe not a housekeeping match like they had with China and Jeff Jarrett a long time ago, but some sort of. I would love to see a couple, maybe the Property Brothers face off against somebody. Trying to think, maybe what is that? Fixer Upper Crew. Maybe you just have that tag team match at some point for the HGTV titles, but.
I was going ID, because then you can have like Nick Gage and maybe Homicide, or this is one that Moxley would want, because it's just about killing.
It is. That's it. And maybe it's an A&E title. So then you can get the first 48 and just turn them together at that point.
Right. Then we get the Casino Battle Royal ladder match, whatever the hell they called it. People in this: Orange Cassidy, Pac, Andrade, Mox, Hardy, Archer, and then the Joker was Hangman. Holy shit! The power bomb from Andrade off of the ladder. That fucking blew my mind. But my biggest pop was when Hangman comes out, it says, he finally showed up for work.
That was mine too. I was dying when I saw it. As soon as he came out, I'm like, oh, first of all, I yelled cowboy shit. Second of all, I'm like, what are they going to put as his tagline? And when he said he finally showed up for work, I lost it. That was a fantastic touch to that. Although, did you, holy shit, when he did the Deadeye off the damn ladder?
Yeah, I did. I really did. Like, this was for these guys being in this, this was brutal. There was a lot of bumps that I'm like, holy fuck, guys, this is just on cable TV. Why are you killing yourself this much?
They didn't care. They were going to go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was still real from that Deadeye. And then I thought it was a little wonky at the end when Mox just kind of fell off the ladder without getting punched. It seemed like he maybe got staggered and then fell off, but I thought that was a little bit of a wonky end to it, but it made sense.
And I don't know if they had the right ladder because Hangman looked a little sketch when he was on like the third to the top rung. He's like, oh shit, I might have the wrong ladder because he had to climb up one more and he's holding on. And trust me, I'm not climbing a ladder like that. So I don't hate you, Hangman, because and he's like trying to swing this, but he's like, I don't want to be up this goddamn high because I'm on the top of the ladder and I've seen these things just crumble to the ground. Yeah, it worked.
It did. And maybe that's why Mox fell off, because they're like, we have the goddamn wrong ladder. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they tried to kill each other, to your point, on cable TV, and I loved every minute of it. So
I did.
Kudos to them.
And that's all I got, really, from AEW. Well, Anna Jay kind of barked up a little bit at the end when the Dark Order. So was that our reference? Who's going to lead the Dark Order here?
It could be, and I kind of thought it was going to be Anna Jay. Was going to be that more the authority figure at this point, because I think she could lead. That was the only one kind of set up to lead the team, in my opinion, because everybody seemed to follow her on, the Elite and all of that stuff, usually when she talks. So I could see Anna Jay leading.
Yeah, I could too. I'll tell you this right now, Jenks. I am not watching into the first commercial break of Roads to the Top. First of all, I don't watch Dynamite Live, guys. It's too late for but I'm not taping Road to the Top to watch the next part. They're going to do this every week, which pisses me off. They're going to talk to somebody. Stop trying to get the viewerships to a show that wrestling fans do not want to watch. I'll put it at that. Or did you watch it?
I gave it 5 minutes and turned it off because I'm like, this is not what I want to see. I'm not big on reality TV to begin with, so this is kind of just like, it's not worth watching to get to an interview that you could probably find on YouTube at some point.
The next day.
So, the next day. It'll be on YouTube. So, I didn't watch it.
So,
but I agree with you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about before we head to the third segment?
We can jump to the third segment. I just want to mention, I love that they did not give Sheeta the 50th win to Deeb. I thought that was a nice little hold off for it, and then she got attacked afterwards. So I like where this is going, because it seemed like a foregone conclusion when they showed the class plaque at the beginning of it. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
And I don't think she's going to get it anytime soon.
No, I think she's going to be chasing it. I think she's going to be chasing it for a while.
It gives her. She doesn't need to be around her title right now. It gives her something to do. Mm-hmm. Deeb is turned and is a badass, but I think you see Sheeta getting some random losses to people you wouldn't expect because she's only worried about that 50 wins.
Yep.
Have it be on Elevation or something. I mean, no disrespect to maybe Sky Blue or our homegirl that was on last week, Maddie Rinkowski, somebody like that. Maybe you see Ray Lynn head back to AEW, and she just got to go back to the boards to figure out what she's really doing, not worried about this 50th win.
Exactly. She's going to be focused on too much. That's kind of where my head went too. She's going to be too focused on the 50th win, and she's going to cost herself a couple times before she gets it.
We got this. We can book shit.
Yeah, we got this. We know what we're doing. I mean, I called the draft last week, so.
You did. All right, we're going to take literally a quick break. We'll be right back. Wrap this show up with some final thoughts here on Can Crushers Podcast.
Yo! It's Johnny Patch, the American Daredevil, the Super Indie Champion, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast.
Oh, welcome back, Can Crusher Nation, to the podcast.
Wow.
I tried to do Big E there.
Were you swerving your hips?
I was trying to get it.
Jenks rocks. Mike, Jenks rocks. You just heard from Johnny Patch, former IWC Super Indian Champion. Not Indian. Indie Champion. This coming Saturday, check out the IWC network. It is Super Indie 20. Hopefully that's what I want to do, Jenks. We'll be just leaving Celeb Fest. I'll have my computer with me. down at Pat's house. We should just throw Super Indy on his old TV down there and watch that. The IWC Network, only $9.99 a month. You get 20 years of their history. You can see the likes of Wardlow and Britt and early CM Punk, and the list can go on and on and on. Elias, and yeah, everybody that's ever come through IWC is on that network. And this coming Saturday is Super Indy 20. Check out the card. It's pretty flippin' amazing. So, yeah.
Very nice. Yep.
Very nice.
Very nice. Hey, Mark, real quick. What's in the coffee? Look, you've been having a rough day this morning here.
I have been. I did this sleeping in thing because both other humans in this house are at work. So I love when, this is mean. Again, it's at the end of the show, so they won't listen this long. I love when they're up and about Sundays and out the door, because me and the birthday boy and the big man, we went back to sleep until about 9 o'clock. I text you the rundown, and then I went back to sleep.
I was impressed you texted me at 8 o'clock this morning with the rundown.
Yeah.
I was, fair enough. Hey, you know what? Get your sleep in, man.
I am.
I wish I could have. I woke up at 5:30 again.
You're retarded. Stupid. Why?
No, it's because I trained my dog to wake me up.
Oh, wow. That's true.
I somehow trained Bailey to wake me up. So sure enough, she got me up and she was just sitting there like, take me outside. Wake up, you lazy piece of shit. And that was about it.
And you did.
Woke up. And I had to wake up. So
yeah. All right. It is actually just French vanilla. It's Timmy Ho's coffee with French vanilla. That's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Got the fancy coffee today.
Well, I do have the fancy. And it's October, so I do enjoy. I'm not a coffee drinker in the summer, but once it's sweatshirt and shorts weather, which is my favorite type of. I would wear sweatshirts and shorts my entire life if I could. It's the best balance. I'm walking in the garbage, so my legs are always warm. I got the upper body maybe a little chilly. Yeah, perfect weather for me, for fat guys, right?
Oh, you know it. That's my weather. This is my weather, man.
This is great.
I've been for the past month, it's been a debate at work between me and this other gentleman. He's more physically fit than I am, but he and I just love fall. And the summer people are trying to hold on to every last bit of summer, and we've been pushing fall for the past month since September 1st.
Yep.
We're like, it's hoodie weather, it's jeans weather. I don't care what you say. I'm miserable on 78 degree weather days because it feels too hot out, because I want just hoodies, jeans, hoodies and shorts, hoodies and jeans. I don't care what it is. Right now, I have a cutoff and jeans on. So that just tells you where my mindset's at. I flipped it. I went with the cutoffs up top.
You're Moxley-ing it up.
Moxley-ing it up. Oh, that was the other thing for the merch store. I thought I would see a cutoff on there.
I didn't see any cutoffs because I clearly would wear a cutoff of my own product. Yeah.
Yep. That's why I was a little shocked they went on there, but that's fair. If you didn't see them, then that makes sense.
Yeah, the tank top's on there, but I don't pull tank tops off well.
I don't either. There's a lot of things hanging out that nobody needs to see. So
right. Real quick, I want to touch on the last 2 weeks of Dark Side of the Ring. Neither one was for me. I'll put it that way. One was all the exploding Japanese, Chinese matches, and then this past week was Johnny K9. There's been better, there've been worse.
Yeah, I mean, I told you before the show I didn't watch the Johnny K9 one this week. Just schedule didn't allow it. But the exploding deathmatch one, there's been better. I understand this. And it just seems, I think it further puts in my mind that Japan is more welcoming to wrestling as a culture. So they have different genres that they can have. This was one of the genres, because you see they have, New Japan, they have the comedy stuff. This was a taste in the 90s, was for this blood and guts type of entertainment. It's not my thing. I don't want to see people exploding or have these pool matches with exploding whatever the hell they had going on there. But they were okay. The one was okay. Again, like I said, I didn't watch the Johnny K9 one, so I can't really have an opinion on that. But
they gave the Johnny K9 one to me is they told us everything that we knew. And, the Dark Side of the Rings, I always expect them to get a little bit dirtier and maybe behind the scenes, and it was just like, yeah, he did this. He did this, and he. But tell us, what did he do? Was he? I mean, yeah, all right. So he was in Satan's Club, and he was in this, or he was maybe involved in a murder. They bounced around stuff more than true confessions of a killer.
Yeah,
This is a wrestling fan. We want to know the down and dirty. When he was doing this, did he snort coke? Well, he led 3 different lives, and you have Scott D'Amore, and you have some wrestlers come on, and you have his wife saying, but he was really a nice guy. We didn't see that. Give me one of the assholes then that says, this son of a bitch was snorting coke and doing this outside. It was supposed to make Johnny Canine look like the devil. You had no backing. You had one guy that rode in the bike with him and he said, I would have told him not to do this. And that was his most poignant line. The whole hour show. I would have told him not to do this. Go be a teacher, go wrestle or something. Live that dream. All right. So, we'll see what happens this week on Dark Side. I still love them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love everything about them, but yeah.
I love the concept. I mean, it just wasn't the strongest episodes to me.
Right.
Or this one wasn't, so.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, we're heading to Baltimore this coming Saturday. Again, IWC is this coming Saturday. And you guys have a podcast coming up this week, and I've moved your present. At least it's on the table now, along with extras. Now, see, I'm getting it ready because I'm actually just sending extras along to say I've been a giant jackass and I missed. So you're going to get your main thing, but you're still getting something else as well. And I hope you enjoy them.
I'm sure I will. I would have also... I thought about it when I looked at the merch store. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to order something so you can sneak that in there so you can ship it to me.
But I'm not shipping it.
But you're not shipping it. You told me you're not shipping it, so that ruined that joke earlier. I had it lined up and everything, but yeah. So I can't wait to see it if it does come.
It will.
Okay. All right.
I'll take a day off work this week just to make sure I ship it.
Okay. All right. I'll believe when I see it. It's like the Godfather thing. I'm telling you.
I know.
With Moochie. I'll believe it when I see it, man.
He's got this coming weekend, since we will be off next week. Again, if you're just joining us and you ended up on the last couple minutes of the podcast, I don't know how. We're off next week because Mark is going to be out of town, and he just doesn't want to bring his podcast stuff down to Pat's house because Pat has a jungle down there. No, I'm kidding. I love Pat's family. It doesn't travel well.
Yeah.
So you guys are recording. You have your show coming up that releases next Monday.
Yep, it'll be next Monday. It'll be a Cody update episode, so we'll see what the Codester has going on, and we'll be prepping. There'll be a Moochie minute. We'll be rambling about something. Hopefully, he forgot last week, so we had to do candy corn thing on the fly, and we'll have a debate about candy corn in 2 weeks or 3 weeks now, on the 31st. So that's what's coming up for myself. Outside of other family functions and that are going down.
Yeah, we'll be recording later on this evening, ready to drop for tomorrow, the second rendition of the Martinez Lounge, as Kelly is bringing the topic. A real first episode, because last week was get to meet us and know the concept of the show and what's going on and everything. But Kelly's got the real first topic that we're going to banter about. I am not sure what she's bringing to the table. This is the way that we're going to bring topics. This is her topic, so she's got all her notes. She didn't tell me what's going on, so we're going to do the fly with that. And then following week will be mine that I won't tell her what, and she'll have to do, responses. So, yeah, that's what's coming up for me.
Very nice. I said I did listen to episode 1. I'm kind of intrigued by this topic this week. See what happens.
Yeah, it could go so many ways with Kelly. It really could. I could be buried and not know about it.
Well, let's hope not. Let's keep positive thoughts. Power of positivity.
Yeah. All right, Jenks, remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
What was it going to be called? You almost didn't say garbage.
I almost didn't. I was fumbling with my words there. Maybe I've had a little bit too much this morning. Who knows?
Maybe. All right, Jenks. We'll see you soon, buddy. I love you.
Love you too, buddy. See you guys. Take care.